I played Reigns the Witcher, and these are my impressions. Let's get something straight right away. This is not a DLC for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is not an action RPG. This is not an open world game. It's not your monster contracts and 60-hour quest lines. This is a Reigns game, built by Nariel in their signature style, so to speak, meaning swipe-based decision-making, branching outcomes, and roguelite runs that live or die by your choices. And that distinction is going to make or break this experience for you. If you played the previous Reigns titles, you know the formula. You are presented with cards, you swipe left or right, each decision impacts multiple meters, whether it's gold, army, population, or something else, and eventually one of those meters hits zero and your run ends. In Reigns the Witcher, that system is wrapped in Witcher lore. You play as Geralt, navigating political intrigue, monster contracts, moral dilemmas, and the usual mess that follows the White Wolf wherever he goes. The randomness, a key roguelite element, is fully in force here. Events don't always unfold the same way. Cards appear in different orders. Outcomes shift, and that unpredictability is part of the charm, which is essentially the main point of this game. And this is where the things get tricky. Because if you're coming in expecting traditional Witcher gameplay, you might feel blindsided. There's no traditional combat system, no exploration, no skill trees, no deep alchemy mechanics, nothing of the sorts. It's a decision-driven card game wearing Witcher clothing. From the very start, the game tells you to hook the controller if you want to have the best experience. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Mouse and keyboard works just fine for me, and probably will for you if you're playing on PC. If you're playing on mobile, well, you have fingers and thumbs, so you're good to go. Then this small preview happens, you do stuff with cards, and when you die, which is how for the most of the situations your run ends, you get to chat with our boy Dandelion, he spews his usual bullshit, and you're good to go. A clever thing that they did to, I guess, attract the existing Witcher fanbase is to use the music and sounds from the third game, and that obviously made me even more interested in the game. At least initially for the first couple of minutes. At this point, at least for me, it's purely a psychological trigger, as if I'm one of the Pavlov's dogs, so to speak. It's very hard to fight it, and it kinda made me a bit pumped, but as I was playing the game, the feeling went away, so to speak. Still, good trick. So, this game is all about unlocking new cards, or as the game calls it, inspirations, new characters, new ways of dying, new ways of ending the game. This is where the roguelite system kicks in. You have absolutely no idea what inspirations you can get, albeit you can re-roll individual ones after you reach a certain level. That's also the theme in this game. Play more and you get more power. Classic roguelite formula. Now, I have played Witcher 3 9 times, proper full playthroughs, so you might say I know the world inside out. Because of that, I initially played the game as I would in Witcher 3, meaning me as Geralt. In that sense, I chose things based on mine and his morality, so to speak, but that's not gonna be a thing here. Those inspirations that I have mentioned before, they are essentially pushing you to do stuff that will result in completing them, which at the end gives you more points so you can level faster. Therefore, forget following some kind of a Witcher moral code, or for that matter, your moral code. This is even more emphasized by 4 reputations that are continuously influenced by your decisions and actions. They represent your standing with humans, non-humans, mages or magic in general, and the Witcher path. If your reputation goes to 0 or you max it out, the game is over. In other words, you gotta dance in between the extremes if you hope to extend your run as much as possible. This is something that kinda grinds against my nature, and I'm not really fond of it. I expected, for the most part, more depth, so to speak. Also, what I hoped for were longer sessions, meaning more days spent interacting with the game. That's basically the system in this game, where the more days you spend, or rather the more decisions you do, the longer the game is and more experience you get. I know it's a roguelite, but it always feels like my runs are ending way faster than I initially expected. I played the game 3-4 hours or so, and my longest run was around 40 days or something like that. That being said, I reckon I gotta play a bit more to get to a point where those 40-day runs become a thing. Right now, my average is around 15, I would say. So keep in mind, there will be some grinding, so prepare for that. I also noticed occasionally that you can see the values influencing the reputation meters you are interacting with. That makes the game a bit easier, but then you don't even need to read what's happening. You simply pick cards that favor the values that you're interested, so to speak. It can definitely help, but then it also makes you play on an autopilot. I don't know if that is a thing that you permanently unlock or is it influenced by cards or inspirations. So from one point of view, it's kinda, not that great, but from the other point of view, if you're chasing more experience, especially in the beginning, it's an awesome feature. Speaking of that, I would like to see if a reputation meter goes up or down, but I suppose it's the same thing with the values as well, making it detrimental to the original design decision. The game also has a combat system. As you can see on the screen, once you trigger a monster encounter to fight the said monster, you switch to combat mode, and by doing this you pretty much fight. It's a neat little thing. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. It takes a bit of time to get used to, but once you kinda figured out how the system works, it's okay. One thing the game does well is the humor. It fits the Witcher universe surprisingly well. It's dry, sometimes absurd, occasionally self-aware, but never immersion-breaking. It complements the card format instead of clashing with it. It's not trying to turn Geralt into a parody, it just leans into the weirdness of the world in a way that works for a swipe-based format. As you are progressing through the game, you will unlock these jobs or performances where various characters ask Dandelion to sing them a song or something along those lines, and based on their requirements, you gotta pick the card that corresponds to their desires. A pretty neat mechanic if you ask me. However, if you don't have the required cards, you won't be able to complete it, but you can always go back to those tasks to complete them later. So to summarize, Reigns the Witcher is an interesting crossover. I could say that it respects both identities. The minimalistic, choice-driven structure of Reigns and morally grey world of The Witcher. That being said, it's absolutely a niche game. If you already enjoy the Reigns formula, this will probably be one of the more flavorful and charming entries in the series. If you're here purely because you love Geralt and expect something close to a traditional Witcher experience, this might not scratch that itch. Being open-minded helps, so people who don't even know that they like this might get hooked on it. Also, this is 100% more suited for phones, and you can see that if you go to Play Store, for example, by checking out their previous titles and the number of times they were downloaded. As far as I'm concerned, it's a gimmick game that I might run here and there when I absolutely don't have anything to do. And that's very rare these days since I have all kinds of projects on my mind, not to mention real life things as well. If you want the original Witcher experience, if I were you, I would just play the third game again. But if you want something gimmicky, give it a go. It's not that expensive, it's around $5-6. So if you spend around 5-6 hours in it, it's basically $1 per hour. Pretty damn good value for money, if I can say so myself. And that's basically it when it comes to Reigns the Witcher. What do you guys think about this game? Is it something that you like or dislike? Did you buy it and regret it because you thought it's going to be something else? Or you went fully aware in the game and now you're enjoying yourself? Post your comments down below. I read all of them and I'm very happy to interact there with you guys. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking the video and subscribing for more discussions like this. That's it from me, until the next one.